Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to the Slippery Slope. So today I want to talk about AusAlert. There's a few videos getting around social media, really, in my mind, fear-mongering in some ways, but people talking about things and not, I don't think they're really considering everything about it. And we've got these people, this seems to be a thing, especially in Australia, I think, is people want to bury their head in the sand. And all these people putting out this advice, what you should do, take out your SIM, turn your phone off, blah, blah, blah. We'll look at one or two of these videos, and then we'll go through the information that AusAlert on their website that they put out, and have a bit of a talk about I'll tell you what I think about it, but also what I think we should do about it, if anything. Let's have a look. Check out some of these videos on this.
Okay, an update on AusAlert. It's fucking freezing where I live this morning. I know I look like the biggest trooper. In the comments of my previous video, I learned some good information. So number one, you can turn the AusAlert notifications off in your phone. However, I don't think it applies to this one that's coming on the 27th of July. I think this one will still go off. It will override those notification settings, but still go and turn them off. So for iPhone and Android, just go to your settings, notifications, scroll right down to the bottom, and you should see a little section at the bottom that says AusAlert, and there's like 3 toggles there. Turn them all off. When the fuck did they put that?
So, sorry about the swearing. I just thought I'd just leave it in there. Just, this is what she's put up. Look, first off, turning off notifications as if this is going to actually do anything at all. Will it actually do anything? I want you to listen to the advice that this lady's giving and think, what will this actually achieve? Okay, and what are you trying to achieve? I want to look at this from a perspective of undergoing an operation, like from a policing perspective. You've got an idea of something happening and you're looking at it, but you need as much information as you can possibly glean. Okay, so that's how I'm going to be looking at it. Let's keep going with what she's saying.
There for starters, I didn't know that was there. Sneaky fucking bastards, aren't they? If that option isn't there, because for some people I don't think it shows there, you can turn off your phone or put it into flight mode and you won't receive the alert. But if you turn your phone back on or turn it off flight mode within 24 hours, it will still come through. There was also chat about if you took your SIM card out, what would happen. I'm not sure, to be honest. Best steps to take if you want to avoid it basically is to turn off all them notifications in your phone, and then on the 27th of July at about 1 p.m, turn your phone off or turn it into flight mode, and then don't put it back on until that 24-hour period has passed. I just want to say how fucking epic it is too, to see so many people who are on the same page. It is so uplifting, and it just makes me think that we are really fucking winning this shit. Big changes are happening spiritually in terms of the consciousness of humanity raising and people waking up and realizing the truth. And honestly, if you are one of the people in the comments telling me that I'm crazy or saying things like, it's not that deep, read the comments from the people who are over in the UK and Europe where this has been happening for the last few years. Little things like this is how it starts. And look how fucking cooked those places are now. That is where Australia is headed. Fucking good luck to you when the world looks like that fucking movie Equilibrium, because that's what's going to be like one day. And you'll be fucking stuck in it. I'll be out here in the bush, only contactable by pigeon. Okay, and
Okay, so she finishes off with, she'll be out in the bush, only contactable, by carrier pigeon, whatever. So yeah, we've got all these posts. I'm gonna check out what's this guy saying?
Don't want the government in your phone for this emergency alarm? Turn it off.
Okay. And now, if you don't know, I was a police officer, and I spent most of my time doing covert surveillance, physical surveillance, okay? I was a physical surveillance officer, police officer seconded into the physical surveillance realm. And that was most of my time in the policing world. So I know how to track people. I know how to physically track and what methods are used. And I'm not going to go into methodology just in case anyone's sitting there going, Jay, don't talk about methodology. I'm not going to go into that, okay? Methodology for that is very different. However, when you're doing this, people are so worried and they're like, turn off your phone. How dare they put this thing on our phone? You know, they're able to track us. They're going to use it to track. The government can already track you if they want. If they want to track an individual, if they want to find an individual, they can already do it. Already. Okay. So this whole notion that if I turn off my phone, if I opt out, if I get rid of the app or the notifications, I don't understand this whole, well, it's like people just adamant they want to bury their head in the sand and pretend that they can get around the system. You can't get around the system. That it's the system. It's bigger than you. If anything, you want to approach it completely opposite way. Completely opposite. Everything that that lady said in that video, do the exact opposite. That's what I would be doing. Okay? If I believed in conspiracy theories, and if I didn't have such a deep rooted love and trust for the Australian government to protect me in my safety, this is what I would be doing. Everything that she said, I'd do the exact opposite. I would leave my phone on. I would gather as much information from all the other people around me that I knew. I would go and find out beforehand what phones do friends of mine have, whether it's iPhones, Google phones, Samsungs, what networks do they run, or what's that Chinese phone, Huawei, however you say it, you know, all those phones. I would find out who do I know with all these different phones? Who do I know on every different network that we have in Australia? Who do I know living in all different areas across Australia? And then everyone, let's all turn our phones on and let's find out who this works for, who received the information, who actually, and then you need to collate all that information, gather all the information that you can, and work out who this system works, what networks, what devices it actually works on, and what devices it doesn't work on, what area it picked up, and what area it didn't pick up. You know, you want as much information. It drives me nuts. Australians that think that they can just bury their flipping head in the sand and try and ignore it, turn their device off or whatever, because it's not just this instance. I see people do it all the time. We just bury our head in the sand. We need to gather as much information as possible. If you want to know what you're up against, you need information. Information is power. Information is what you need, and you need as much information. If you're concerned about it, you need as much information as you can possibly have. Because if you just turn your phone off and bury your head in the sand and think, well, I just don't want to get involved, that's the reason why Australia is in the situation that we're in now. Because people just bury their head in the flipping sand and they put up silly posts on Facebook and they say, oh, look, this is what you can do. Oh, look, everyone's giving me this information. Read all the information. The Australian government gives all the information. They give all the information, okay? Read all the information, take it all in and gather it, and then come to your own conclusions and work out the best way. If you're so worried about it, then you work out the best way that you can, if you want to get around it, or the best way that you can use it to help you. This notion that you can get around it and that you can live outside of technology. If you want to live outside of technology and not be tracked, and you have to completely cut everything off. Everything off and live like a hermit out in the middle of nowhere, and they'll still find you. They'll still track you down, unfortunately. You know, I hear people talking about stuff and like they say, well, you know, I just don't use my phone. I'll use it from there. I'll give you an example, okay? People think that if they travel and they don't take phone calls, they'll turn their phone off when they leave. Let's just say I live in the Whitsundays and I'm someone who's trying to avoid people, avoid an organization tracking me. So I'll turn my phone off and I'll drive all the way down to Brisbane. I don't turn my phone on until I get to Brisbane. The thing is, and when I get to Brisbane, no one calls me, no one sends me messages. The thing is, my phone, as soon as you turned on, an app, one of my apps, whether I wanted to or not, one of my apps is going to do like a little handshake with one of the cell towers around in that vicinity. And whatever government agency is going to say, well, we didn't know where he was, but obviously he's in Brisbane because his phone is doing a little, that app is doing a little handshake with that tower in this area. So we know he's in Brisbane. We know he's down there now, you know. Or I've seen people and they've been busted. Something's happened. They realized, oh, people are watching, people are listening to my phone. Okay. And they think they're really smart and they'll go out the next day and they'll get another phone, they'll get another SIM. And then they're like, yep, no one knows me. No one knows what I'm doing now because I've got a new phone, new SIM. No one knows this phone number. So what do? As soon as they do it, they text all their friends or they ring their mate and they say, hey, this is my new number. Don't tell anyone. As soon as you ring your friend who's still got the same phone number, the other people who were tracking you, listening to you, following you through your phone, through your device, they now know your new number. They now know exactly where you are and what you're doing because you've just rung your friend. This is, if you've ever seen those movies about about the gangs, like in the United States, you know, there might be a pretend movie or, you know, not factual and that, and they're talking, they say, oh, you know, every once a week, the gang leader, the whole gang ditches their phones and they pick up a new burner and they only use those burners for a week, and then every Monday they all get a new burner. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it, is if everyone you knew got a new burner every day, once a week, everyone is on exactly the same wavelength and gets a new burner. Then that's the only way that you'd be able to avoid being tracked. Because as soon as you think, well, you know, I can't get my mum to have a new burner every week, so she's got to have the same phone number. But me and my mates, we just have burners and that's all we use. But then once every month, once every 6 months, I have to call my poor little mum, you know, make sure she's okay. And then someone's sitting there listening and, oh, bang, Jay's rung his mum every 6 months, as he usually does. So we know his new number. We know exactly where he is right now. It's virtually impossible unless you're going to live as a hermit. All this to say, okay, when people get on social media and say, hey, this stuff's happening, turn your phone off, let's all be scared, let's all, you know, we don't want to end up like the UK. Yeah, I get it. I don't want to end up like the UK and what's going on in Europe and all that thing. But the best thing to do is to gather as much information, intelligence as you can. Okay, you don't run and bury your head in the sand. You put the feelers out, you find out who's got what phones, and get as much intel. Does it work in this area? Does it work from this carrier? Does it work on this type of phone? Does it work, you know, whatever other scenario you can think of? Does it work on this device? Don't bury your head in the sand. Don't turn your phone off. Don't take the notifications off. Get as much intelligence as you can. Like I said, it's all in the name, AusAlert. If you really, really want to get around it and you really don't want to be a part of it, the only way at the moment, the only way I can see anyone not being a part of it is not being an Oz. Anyway, let me know what you think about this whole scenario. Like I said, I trust the government, and if they're going to use this for my benefit, well, I'm sure it'll be fine. My name is Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No more demons to be done. Nothing's gonna just focus on me goal. Nothing's gonna stop me now. gonna stop